Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much again for joining me here. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Appreciate the patience too over the weekend, by the way. We were in San Diego with my wife and son, having a good time. He's getting big and just a whole heck of a lot of fun. So thanks again for the awesome feedback. Quick congrats to our committee. While we didn't short XRP, I kind of considered it. We shorted Solana with 31% and AVAX with 25% profit over the weekend. Those are just simple 5x leverage trades, nothing too crazy. But there's a lot of volatility, folks. Unusual buying activity every like 2 to 3 hours on Sunday. So once more, just kind of reaffirming being careful on weekends if you're trading. We take a look here though at XRP. Let's go ahead and take a peek at the liquidation and kind of see what's going on. Because if I recall correctly from before, we had a lot above, still do 243 to 266 is that kind of range above the price action where we have some liquidation piling up. Keep in mind that's just local liquidation. From a macro perspective, there's still heavier concentrations at 226 to 227. So there's a decent chance we could continue lower just to keep sweeping those lower lows. That's essentially how market makers do it. They let the price pump up and then they sell, just continue to destroy retail traders. So all that being said, liquidation delta is still bearish at about $250 million, roughly 300 million, and that's kind of a big margin. Excuse me. So just keep in mind when you're trading against that, you're trying to take longs into that. You're basically taking a high risk trade every single time. Just remember that it's the same concept of driving the wrong direction on oncoming traffic. For example, you're driving against traffic. It's just you should get that weird feeling that you're doing something wrong and you shouldn't be doing it. That's a simple way to understand it. Either way. 260 is that point of control here above the price action based on open interest, and 220 is that lower area. So we're kind of closer to the lower area. Makes sense for us to retest 220 because of that. Not only that, but there's a lot of open interest there too, or more importantly, liquidation rather. So looking here at our 0.618 fib level, that level did hold here so far. So there's a good chance we're going to start consolidating at the 230 mark and go higher. Okay, so I'm not just trying to tell you all these good trading techniques or just best practice to try to deter you from trading this coin. No, it's just it's just helpful so you don't get destroyed along the way. Now, overall, the macro point of control for this coin, if I recall correctly, is right there in that 220 to 230 range. Let's go ahead and zoom out. This is ever since we've been in the range of ever since December 1st, we've been in the range of $2 plus. We can see point of control is at 240. So we're right there at that level, effectively working as a resistance. So keep in mind, further downside would make more sense now because we've retested that bearishly as a back test, and oftentimes that'll hold there. But that doesn't mean much. I mean, that's more of a macro movement, right? So macro movements take a while to play out. All that being said, locally, we have a lot of support at 210. So please recognize, ever since we've been in this lower range of, the low $2, 210 is that area. So what that means for us, we got support at 210, resistance at 240. Okay, those are just kind of the easy bumper stickers for you. And we take a look here at the macro, we can see we've broken bearish here, divergence there for this coin on the daily time frame. We can also see that we're swinging down here, getting closer to 50 in the RSI. While this is positive generally to have money flow index above the RSI, when RSI gets closer to 50, it's generally implied as a shift in momentum or a potential retest of that support. We do have our golden pocket 0.618 fib level that could hold, but once more, that's a fib level, folks. If you're only trading fib levels, you probably know by now that is a bad move. And unfortunately, there's a lot of other influencers in my industry that use only that, and that's pretty much all they ever trade. And I think they're more likely to share with you some poor results than they are good results, just based on the simple fact that fib levels are helpful. They're areas that you want to use in conjunction with areas of confluence. So if 0.618, for example, here matches up with a lot of key level supports, then maybe it's a good idea to take along there. And in fact, it does. We have a previous support level here, I think based on a daily candlestick closure at 230. So there's a good chance 230 is the new bottom, right? So just bear that in mind. But the key takeaway here is that we are working in a descending trend. Okay, so until we break this descending trend line and effectively put ourselves in a position to, establish higher highs and higher lows, we're going to keep going down. That's the simple way to understand it. It implies the bears are in control. And what else reaffirms bears being in control? Macro liquidation delta being high, okay? Which in this case is high to the downside, 300 million in liquidation short delta. So all that combined together implies further downside makes more sense than going up. However, we close above 240, our macro point of control. We may have a leg to stand on there. We'd be breaking above our descending trend line as well if that were to happen, and we'd be in a much better position. But I think it's pretty naive to think that XRP is going to go to the metaphorical moon, unless it's some kind of fundamental catalyst. And those other idiots that all they talk about is XRP, and they've only gotten popular because XRP is their jam. I would be careful listening to them, because that is just a very unilateral way to trade. Okay, not to say what I have here is the only way to go. It's just worked very well for me over the years, and it's consistent for a lot of my traders too. So it does help, right? Use everything in conjunction. Try not to just be blindsided by one thing. I guess that's the easy way to understand it. 4-hour time frame though, really, we're still under 50 on the RSI. Our money flow index is low. Stochastic's trying to swing up, and MACD is trying to converge, but it hasn't yet. So until those things really come to pass and Bitcoin closes just say 105K or higher today, then I don't really see us going much higher. If we were to go higher, I think our local resistance at 240, 245 is a sensible place to consider a rejection. So I'm guessing we might get a fake out like this and come back down to our local point of control at 210, 220. Okay, I'll post a playout chart on our Twitter, Telegram, and Discord. And once again, thanks for being an awesome, amazing part of my life. Before you go, though, make sure you check this out. Model 3 is up for grabs for Bitunix. Phenomenal trading exchange here. We use them solely as a community. We've been with them for almost 2 years, and they've been phenomenal. So no KYC or VPN required. They are excellent. At least take advantage of these futures deposit bonus rewards. Link down below for that. Just future reference, if you've used my link to register in the past, you're automatically eligible, but click the link regardless so you get the information. All right, have a good rest of your day. We'll see you all in the next one. Be safe out there. Take care.